The collective had ruled the galaxy for 3,000 years. Their technology was beyond comprehension. Their society a perfect harmony of interconnected minds. When they discovered humanity on a small blue world in the outer rim, they were curious but unconcerned. Another species to catalog, assess, and ultimately absorb into their vast network. Jasmine stood in the center of the examination chamber, her hands steady at her sides despite the fear coursing through her veins. The walls pulsed with bioluminescent patterns and the air hummed with energy that made her teeth ache. Beside her, Casper shifted his weight, his jaw clenched tight. They were the first humans to be processed by the collective's mind scanner, a device that could read every thought, memory, and desire within seconds. The lead assessor, a being of crystalline structure and flowing light, approached them. Its voice resonated directly in their minds, bypassing their ears entirely. "You will submit to the scan. Resistance is futile. Your mental patterns will be cataloged, analyzed, and integrated into the collective. You should feel honored. Your species will become part of something greater." Jasmine glanced at Casper. His brown eyes met hers, and she saw the same defiance burning there that she felt in her own chest. They had volunteered for this, knowing full well they might not return. Someone had to understand what humanity was facing. The mind scanner descended from the ceiling, a sphere of impossible geometry that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the eye could perceive. It positioned itself before Jasmine first, tendrils of light extending toward her temples. The scan began. Jasmine felt the intrusion immediately, like ice water flooding her consciousness. The scanner dove deep, rifling through her memories with mechanical efficiency. Her childhood in the refugee camps after the resource wars, her mother's face, her first love, her training as a diplomat. The scanner consumed it all, processing, categorizing, measuring, and then it stopped. The crystalline assessor tilted its head, confusion rippling through its form. "Impossible. What is it?" Another collective member asked, its telepathic voice sharp with interest. "The scan shows nothing. Empty. There is structure, memories, thoughts, emotions. But behind it all, there is an absence. A void where the core consciousness should reside." Jasmine smiled, though her head pounded from the intrusion. "You're looking for something that isn't there." The assessor moved closer, its light intensifying. "All sentient species have a discernible consciousness pattern, a definable self that can be measured, mapped, and understood. You have none. You are empty. Then why are you afraid?" Jasmine asked quietly. The chamber fell silent. The humming stopped. Every member of the collective present turned their attention to her. "We do not experience fear," the assessor stated, but there was uncertainty in its tone now. "We are beyond such primitive emotions." Casper laughed, a harsh, bitter sound that echoed off the walls. "You're terrified. We can see it in the way you've pulled back your scanner, in the way you're all communicating with each other right now, trying to figure out what we are." The scanner moved to Casper, scanning him with increased intensity. Minutes passed. The results were the same. "Empty," the assessor declared. "Another void. This cannot be. Your species builds, creates, loves, wages war. How can you do all this with no measurable center of consciousness?" Jasmine took a step forward, and despite their technological superiority, the collective members retreated slightly. "You've spent 3,000 years connecting minds, reading thoughts, absorbing species into your network. You've forgotten what it means to be truly unknowable. We humans, we don't have a simple core you can map because we're not supposed to be mapped." "Explain," the assessor demanded, though it sounded more like a plea. Casper moved to stand beside Jasmine. "Every human is a paradox. We're biological machines that somehow became aware of our own existence. We're particles following chemical laws that somehow learned to contemplate infinity. We contain multitudes, we contradict ourselves constantly. One moment we're capable of incredible cruelty, the next breathtaking compassion. We're rational and irrational, selfless and selfish, brave and cowardly, often all at once." "You are chaos," the assessor said slowly. "Your minds are not ordered. They are storms of competing impulses with no central governing consciousness to unify them. And yet here we stand," Jasmine said. "Empty, as you say, but still thinking. Still choosing. Still defying you." The crystalline being seemed to vibrate with something that might have been distress. "If we cannot scan you, we cannot integrate you. If we cannot integrate you, we cannot predict you. If we cannot predict you, then you can't control us, Casper finished. And that terrifies you. Because in 3,000 years you've never encountered something you couldn't absorb and understand. You've never met a species that's fundamentally impossibly unpredictable. The assessor was silent for a long moment. Then it spoke, and for the first time its voice carried emotion. Uncertainty, confusion, and yes, fear. What are you? Jasmine smiled. We're human. We're the species that stares into the void and laughs. We're the beings who shouldn't exist but do anyway. We're the creatures who look at an uncaring universe and decide to care anyway. You say we're empty, maybe you're right. Maybe there's nothing at our core but the choices we make moment by moment with no predetermined path. That is illogical, the assessor whispered. Exactly, Casper said. And that's why you'll never defeat us. You can't absorb what you can't understand. You can't predict what has no pattern. You can't control what won't be defined. The mind scanner retreated to the ceiling. The collective members stood motionless, their shared consciousness rippling with unprecedented confusion. Jasmine and Casper were escorted back to their ship without another word. As they departed the collective station, Jasmine looked back at the massive structure growing smaller in the viewport. Do you think they'll leave Earth alone now? She asked. Casper nodded slowly. They're afraid. And fear, for a species that's never known it, is the most powerful weapon we could have given them. We're not empty, Jasmine said softly. No, Casper agreed. We're infinite. And that's what makes us impossible to contain. Behind them, the collective watched the human ship disappear into the void, and for the first time in 3,000 years, they did not know what to do. The humans were empty yet full, weak yet terrifying, illogical yet undeniable, and the galaxy would never be the same.